WEZE Boston.
Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
25.
Everybody get exposed. Pray for all my foes.
As we can see. Hey, everybody. It's the Amazing Grace Sports Network. We are here on Saturday. That's right, Saturday, February 15th, 2025. Let me make sure I'm looking in the camera. February 15th, 2025. We are here at 9 a.m. on the dot. Yeah, it's up for all of them in 2000. It was up for all of them in 2024 with Cat Williams, and now it's up for all of them in 2025 with Donald Trump, because he is going to town with the big axe. Heads are rolling. The French Revolution has nothing on him. That being said, today in history. Wow. Let me see. Yeah, I think we got that today in history thing. Let's try that. Bada boom. Oops. We're going to do the old one. All right, you ready? Let me get it in there. Well, that would work if it was plugged in. So I'll just chatter for a little bit.
Oh, come on.
And I was the guy who was here early. I was here before everybody. All right, let's try it again.
There we go.
Here we go. Bomb. We're ready. Today in history, 1932. February 15th, 1932. A member of the gold-winning U.S. four-man bob sledding team at Lake Placid, Eddie Egan, becomes the only Olympian to win gold medals in both the summer and winter games in different sports. So he won one as a bobsledder. What was the other one, the other gold medal won in? And that was done actually in 1920. He did it 12 years before. But I guess he was a little bit, I guess he didn't age very well. So he was able to do something else 12 years later and win as a bobsledder. That being said, this should give you a hint of what he wanted in, because we're going to segue into February 15th, 1978, when Leon Spinks beat Muhammad Ali in 15 rounds for the heavyweight boxing title. Ali and Spinks have both won gold medals at the Olympic Games in the same weight class, same boxing weight class. The question in this one is, which boxing weight class did Leon Spinks and Muhammad Ali win their gold medal in? And finally, in 1996, February 15th, 1996, the NFL coaching maestro, Bill Belichick, was fired by the Cleveland Browns because he, didn't have a very good year. And he finished his coaching career with the Browns with a record of 36-44. My question is, how many winning seasons did Bill Belichick have in his 5-year coaching career as a Browns head coach? And that is it for today in history.
Wasn't a very long stint in Cleveland.
It was 5 years. You got 5 years in.
Well, it was a short 5 years.
How do you get a short 5 years?
Well, time flies.
You're telling me, you're asking me. I have a birthday coming up here.
Do you?
Yes. March 8th, I have a birthday coming up.
There we go.
Yeah, so I can tell you all about time flying. As a matter of fact, with the turbojet. All right, we're here. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. Let's just get that out the way. All right, Philadelphia and Kansas City. You should have a smile on your face.
I was just so indifferent about the game.
You would think that you would be like.
You took Kansas City, correct?
Yes,
you did. Yeah, I'm just putting it out there.
Yes.
Just putting it out there.
I took Kansas City.
I knew from the opening snap that the Eagles were going to win that game. Mahomes was off, no catches, no receptions for Kelsey in the first half.
Yeah, he was terrible.
I've been saying it all year. The Chiefs were a team that I didn't think was going to get anywhere, and yet here they are. And
I disagree that they were not a good team. I just think they ran the length of their rope.
Do you disagree that they got lucky at times this year? And then if certain things had gone the other way, they wouldn't have been 15-2?
I think lucky is predicated on the amount of work that you put in and you making your own breaks. Because we have to remember, when the Patriots were winning, everyone said they were lucky. I know I'm going back 20-something years when you were like 6 years old, I think. Maybe you were 5 years old. But, one of the common threads after they won the first one was, they're lucky. They're lucky. They're lucky. And even when they didn't win the Super Bowl, a lot of those years they had very good years, we would hear the Patriots are lucky or they cheat. And it's very hard to be lucky all the time. So I don't think luck has as much to do with it as the team pulling it out the end. And I think they ran out of rope.
So let me ask this question.
Okay.
Had Buffalo or Baltimore, I'm certainly not going to put Pittsburgh or Houston in that category,
Right.
but I will put a team that wasn't in the playoffs that I do believe
Oh boy,
that
here we
was
go.
if they had made the playoffs, they would have made a run, and you know who I'm talking about, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals, of course. Now, had teams like those been in the position of Kansas City and gone to the Super Bowl as the AFC champions, would we have seen a different outcome? Not necessarily them winning, perhaps winning, but having a much closer game than Kansas City did.
I think the Bengals would have had a better game. I think they're predicated on blocking more, and you really would have to do that because the Eagles' defense was much like the New York Giants' defense of 2007. They were overwhelming. They got after Mahomes the way that the Giants got after Brady. I mean, the ball was snapped and they were in the backfield. Brady got hammered that game the same way Mahomes got hammered in this game. But I think the Bengals' offensive line would have held up better, and so they would have had a better chance against the team than anybody else.
Mahomes just looked lost. To me, the word that sticks out is lost. He just looked lost out there, not his usual self. And it's not like they were facing much distractions, leading up to the game.
No.
Everybody expected them to be there, and well, I should say everybody expected. I think a lot of people did, and here they are, and expect them to come out and play like they usually have been in recent Super Bowls that they've been to, with the exception of the one against Tom Brady in Tampa Bay a couple of years ago.
The Eagles beat the pants off them. The defense.
Yeah, let me say this on the Eagles. We talked about them last week a little bit in depth, but the storyline, Clay, in the NFC this year was really two teams. It was the Lions and the Vikings, and that's who everybody talked about. And then you talked about the Commanders, with Jaden Daniels.
Oh
and
yeah.
the good play there. But other than that, the Eagles are a very underrated team. This is a 14-3 team. This is a team that nobody really talked about outside of Philly throughout the year. Obviously the mention of and the talk of Saquon Barkley and breaking the rushing record, but other than that, it was all Detroit, Minnesota. The two Titans going to clash for the NFC North title, and one of these teams is going to make the Super Bowl. Well,
yeah, they went
that
under
didn't
the
happen.
wire. Yeah, nobody knows them.
And really nobody talked about, unless I was completely, oblivious to it, we didn't really talk about the Eagles as much this year. I mean, we picked them in most games, and they had a great regular season. And I think Saquon Barkley joining that team was a huge benefit. He didn't do much. He didn't do much in the game in this past Super Bowl. And I think the air attack through Jaden Daniels and the Eagles helped Kellen Moore. And Kellen Moore, of course, now being hired as the new head coach of the New Orleans Saints as well, and threw for 221 yards. And he threw some long balls too. He looked pretty good.
They were getting behind. They were getting behind the Kansas City defense. But let me give out our number first: 844-249-5247. 844-249-5247. That's the number to call if you want to get on the air. I want to point out that Philadelphia kind of spoiled it last year for anybody having expectations of it, because I believe they went 10-0 or 11-0, and then just fell off the cliff. So
correct.
The wonderment was, are they going to do it again? I mean, they're starting off good, they're looking good, but are they going to fall into the ocean again like they did last year? So expectations were off, but they managed to sustain their performance for the whole year. As a matter of fact, they got better toward the end of the year. So that being said, that's the reason why they were under the radar, as they say. Yes, they were under the radar.
They were all year. They really were all year. So I wasn't surprised by it. It's too bad we didn't really get to see a close game. I think a lot of people were maybe expecting that. In the past, ever since I just mentioned the last game that really wasn't a blowout was the Kansas City Tampa Bay game from a couple of years ago.
That was a blowout.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we have the last couple Super Bowls have not been blowouts.
Oh, okay.
That's been the last one.
Well, my hearing's going. You know,
That's
I have
okay.
another birthday coming up.
That's all right. That's all right.
I'm going to get that old horn. I'm going to get the horn. Put it in here.
Well, why don't we go to the phones? I do believe our friend Kelly from Lynn is on the line. Kelly, good morning. Welcome on in.
Oh, Kelly.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Yeah,
Good morning.
I thought I started off. Thought I get that first slot before Wayne.
How do you beat him in?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good.
Hit
How you feeling,
me.
Kevin? How you feeling, Kevin?
I'm feeling. Clay thought I'd be smiling
From
ear to ear. I mean, I'm happy, but as I said, I'm sort of indifferent about it. But I'm good with it. It's all good.
I love it. I love going back on YouTube and watching like the Kansas City fans' reaction.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
After the loss, I mean, it's like watching the election all over again.
Oh,
the
gosh.
lefties losing it.
losing it, having a meltdown, like Taylor Swift did at the Super Bowl.
Yeah. What do you guys make? What do you make of that? What do you make of that, Kelly? All the booze.
Yeah, well, hey, she spoke out against the man that was there. That probably had part to do with it, and people they just had enough of it. Yeah. And how many times? And Kelsey had a crappy game, so how many times did they show her? Which was great.
Gosh,
yeah. I know.
So you wonder where if they continue on and the Chiefs continue to nosedive or decline, how much more relevant she's gonna be now?
Well, she's not going to be relevant in the NFL not for too much longer. I don't know how. I mean, her lawsuit. I mean, she's about to get dragged into a big lawsuit that her friend Blake Lively brought up. So I don't know if she's going to be relevant for too much longer, even after that. So she better grab all the spotlight she can right now. And if she's smart, she would give President Trump a call right now and say, "Hey, listen, what can I do for you?"
She's not going to do that. No way. No way. Unless she's looking for a pardon, then otherwise,
Eric Adams came to his senses. Why not?
Well, because I think Eric Adams is looking for a pardon. But anyway,
rich people could do what they want.
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
Hey, Kelly, do you think it's time for Kelsey to hang it up? I think he's definitely pondering retirement. What do you think is left in the tank for Travis Kelce?
This guy, he really irritates me. Before the Super Bowl, he talked about he had so much in the tank. He had so much left. And then, I don't know if you heard him recently, the guy sound like, he sounds so defeated. Sound like he's ready to hang him up.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, that game was indicated. It's just, unless he makes this strong turnaround, which means he's got to restart himself, start from the bases and take it more serious than he has to.
It's tough to reset when you're 36 years old in the league.
I mean,
exactly. I mean, that's what this did. What this loss, the Super Bowl, the perspective of the Kansas City Chiefs puts in for me is like Kelsey. Looking back, he's not Gronk. If you want to do the measuring up, and right now, I still. He's a lot closer to Belichick, but I give Belichick the edge there. And then a couple of things I put the brakes on about Kansas City not being New England because who knows what they do from there on because they still have Mahomes.
Right.
And Mahomes, we got to put the brakes on that.
Yeah, that
because
happens.
his book is still being written. So,
hey Kelly, do you think we talked about this a little bit ago? Had the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, or even my team, the Cincinnati Bengals, snuck into the playoffs and gotten to the AFC Championship game and gotten to the Super Bowl, do you think it would have been a closer game?
I think so. Because because like with Kansas City, you got been there, done that, and I think the moment with the three-peat. I think it got too big for Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, I think it overwhelmed.
He played terrible, no doubt about it. I mean, you could say that the Eagles pressured him and all this stuff. Like Brady got pressured too, and they were still competitive to the end. In fact,
that's the difference between the 2007 game and this game. Brady was still competitive to the end.
Exactly. So I mean. But I think you probably would have had more hungrier teams, more competitive game, it was this, complacency set in just a little bit with the Chiefs.
Right.
Because I know they were chasing it before the final gun went off, before even kickoff. Because that's
right.
they got away with it all year. They basically just lost one game because the other game they just tanked.
Right. And that game, of course, was against Buffalo, the one they lost.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it was they were making it look easy.
Yeah.
Well, at times they got lucky too. If things had gone different ways,
Yeah.
maybe have had a different referee crew game against Cincinnati.
Gosh.
And on the Philly end of it, I mean, you got to wonder, like who's this team? Like Clay said, I mean, they had that great start, and then they nosedive, and that's why they weren't under that microscope.
I mean, there were people calling for Nick Sirianni to be fired.
Yeah,
fired. Exactly. Look at that.
And during the season as well.
He got the same treatment that coach at Ohio State when he lost Michigan.
Ryan Day, exactly right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But the thing is, you got to ask yourself, like Philly, you look back, they're on a good run. So you got to wonder how far are they into the success. I mean,
I think they got another 3 good years. I mean,
so long as Saquon Barkley stays healthy, so long as Jalen Hurts continues to stay healthy,
so long as that defense stays healthy,
and so long as the defense continues to do what they do, listen, they'll be a force. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the NFC East shape up between the Eagles and the Commanders going forward the next couple of years. The Giants are ways off, and who knows what the Cowboys are going to do. But this NFC East is being reshaped, and it's going to be fascinating to watch these two teams down the line where things are.
Yeah, and now Philly's going to get that. People are going to take serious. They're going to take that. They're going to take notice of the Eagles seriously this time next year.
And it's time to cement. I mean, it's time to take Jalen Hurts seriously. And this is a guy that has been doubted ever since he was benched in the national championship game for Tua. I
still don't take him seriously. I don't think
Clay's been to 2 Super Bowls. He just won his first one. I mean, it's clear to me that he's doing just fine.
I don't take him seriously as that guy. Jaden Daniels, I take Jaden Daniels over him any day.
So why do you think the Eagles got in the playoffs? Solely on defense? I mean, the Super Bowl. Solely on defense?
Well, Saquon Barkley ran for 3,000 and
so
200, 800,000 yards.
They did get to the Super Bowl 2 years ago without Saquon Barkley, too.
Yeah, they lost.
They still made it there, though.
But they lost.
In a very close game.
But Saquon got him
going to be very interesting. That's going to be very interesting next year.
Saquon Barkley didn't really do much in the Super Bowl, by the way. He only rushed for 57 yards.
Yeah, but they spent all their time trying to stop him, so it left these wide receivers open, getting behind him.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
He had to be the main focus. Yeah. He had to be the main focus.
They over prepared for Saquon Barkley, and they didn't prepare enough for Jalen Hurts.
There it is.
All right, Kelly. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Kelly.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Hey, Kelly, you got any answers for the questions?
The questions. Hit me with the questions. What years are we talking from?
We're talking about 1932. Eddie Egan wins.
Just a couple of years ago.
The gold medal is a bobsled guy, but he also won a gold medal as something. Okay, Leon Speaks beat Muhammad Ali. They both won. They both won Olympic gold medals, but at what weight class? They won in the same weight class.
I always take a crack at boxing. Lightweight. Heavyweight, welterweight. It was just a shot in the dark.
No, lightweight's not it. But you were you had half of it right, but it's not lightweight. You'll think about it as soon as you get off. It'll come to you. But thanks a lot, Kelly.
Was there another one?
Oh yeah.
Bill
Belichick. Bill Belichick was fired by Cleveland on this day with a record of 36 and 44.
Yeah. I caught that just as I tuned in, and
How many winning seasons did he have in his 5-year career as a Browns coach?
With that kind of record, I'm guessing 1.
Bingo! Where's our applause meter here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
There you go.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, it was just
you
one.
Just do the math.
Do the math, baby.
You ain't having many with that kind of record.
Well, we got to ask you here. Another mug?
Sure, why not? Like I said, I'm collecting them like Super Bowl titles.
Yeah, right.
All right. I think we got let's see if we got this for you here.
Oh, okay.
That's for winning.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
we're going to send you out a mug. All right, Kelly.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
You have a little commercial, I believe.
Yes, we do. Somewhere in there. Where's our commercial? Coming up here, yeah, we have to pay our bills. And if you want to advertise with Amazing Grace Sports Network, just give the station a call. As he looks for it somewhere in there. Where is it? I know where it's at. No, I don't. We'll just carry on. I'll find it. What are we looking at here? Oh, so the Super Bowl. I want to know this. Is the NFC locked down by the Eagles now? I don't know. Are they locked down by the Eagles?
Not the NFC. I think Detroit still is very much involved in the conversation.
And the AFC, is it wide open now that the Kansas City Chiefs have lost? That's a good question. I think the NFC is locked down. Actually, I do. And I think the AFC is wide open because Kansas City is showing signs of decline. Patrick Mahomes has showed signs of decline in that sense. He has not looked the same. He hasn't looked the same all season. Kelsey is not the same player that he was. We can see signs of declines definitely there. He was dropping balls that were to him. He's slower. He's not as explosive, so they have a problem there. Mahomes was showing signs of decline. They have a situation in Kansas City. Well, maybe they got 1 or 2 years left. It's time for Mahomes to retool. He can't run around and do the things he used to do. He has to become more of a pocket passer, more of a mental guy, a guy who uses his acumen more than his physical. He has to become Tom Brady. He has to become a guy who thinks quickly, and gets the ball off fast, so he can avoid getting hit. Okay, so we're going to find out if he can get that done. They might lose. They might not even make the playoffs next year. And if they do, they might go in the first round. But if they do, for Kansas City fans, it will still be all good. As long as they get a chance to retool and maybe not even make the playoffs, just being able to fold the season quickly, they'll be all right. So I think Kansas City is now in the situation that they're in. The AFC is wide open.
So you do Buffalo, Baltimore, Cincinnati.
Wide open,
and the Chargers too.
Yeah, wide open.
It'll be very interesting. All right, let's talk to our good friend John, who's on the phone. John, good morning. Welcome on in.
I hate to change gears, but I want to talk hot stove. I mean, we got hot stove baseball from Fort Myers.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what's kind of interesting, guys, about Bregman. You know how they're saying they want to move him to short. I mean, move to second to third.
Right.
I don't think a lot of people realize he had bone chips in his shoulders a couple years ago. So they might be thinking he might not be able to make that throw across the diamond. So let's throw him at second, and he can underhand it to first base.
Not Chuck Knobloch.
Well, they need a second baseman.
No, not afraid of throwing the ball. Just his shoulder he had bone chips, I guess, in both shoulders, but I don't think anyone's worried about his fielding. I think they want the bat to loft him into the monster seats.
So if you move him to second base, you have Story at short, and then you have Devers at third. I think a lot of people maybe wanted the Red Sox to trade Masataka Yoshida, so you shift Devers off the field and put him as DH and put Bregman at third and figure something else out in the middle infield. But I was surprised, honestly, John. I was surprised that Alex Bregman is here. I would have thought he was going to. I know. He left a lot of money on the table too.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No,
yes, he did.
The Red Sox outbid everybody by $20 million.
They did not, Clay. They did not. He left $171 million on the table from the Detroit Tigers.
No way.
I saw that.
Look it up.
Don't go anywhere, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking this up.
Look it up. I mean,
how many players are making more than $40 million a year?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yes.
I think, honestly, John, Alex Bregman wanted to come here, given the stats. If you look at the stats, 375 batting average, 7 home runs, 9 doubles, 15 RBIs, 750 slugging percentage.
At Fenway.
At Fenway Park. And that average is tied for 6th in an all-time rank of players at Fenway Park.
Wow.
2nd in on-base percentage, 2nd in slugging percentage. Listen, if he continues that trend, we're going to see the Red Sox hopefully make a deep playoff run if things work out.
Would that be fantastic?
That's not going to happen. He's not the Alex Bregman of before.
Clay, stop being so negative. Clay, stop being a Debbie Downer. I mean, they went out, they spent $120 million of their money, not our money. They at least they're trying to do something. Hey, did anyone else see they released Kenley Jansen?
Kenley Jansen went out to go to the LA Angels. Yeah, he's out there. He's in the Angels, and Nick Pivetta, he's gone too. He also went to the West Coast to play for the San Diego Padres as well.
Padres. He won't be now, what are the Red Sox going to do for a closer? I can't even remember that bullpen by committee last year. Who is Zach Kelly going to be the closer?
Well, no, I think it's going to be Aroldis Chapman, who has been signed by the Red Sox, right?
I am not sold on Aroldis Chapman. 14 years ago, I was sold on him when he was the Cuban Missile.
Okay, stop being a Debbie Downer here.
36 years old.
Your own money.
Hey, Kev, how old is Aroldis Chapman?
He's 36 years old.
Not in Dominican age. I mean,
he's
probably 55.
Hey, Clay, that was very quick. That was very quick. I thought you were going to say dog's age.
No.
I know, and you know what's so funny? A lot of those Dominican players, I don't know if I'm going to really test you guys in this one. Do you remember a pitcher named Fausto Carmona?
Oh, sure. Yes.
Roberto Hernandez.
Cleveland Indians, right?
Yes, Roberto Hernandez. He lied about his age and his name.
Correct.
He basically was like one of them, like.
So Fausto Carmona was somebody else.
Roberto Hernandez. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, he was basically like everybody did when they were a teenager growing up in Boston when they're stopped by the police. My name is John Smith. I'm from Quincy, Mass. They give the fake name. They have the fake age.
Oh God.
You know, I guess I think I saw something that I guess the birth certificates are like a luxury in the Dominican.
Yeah, you can make them up as you go along.
Yeah, fill in the spaces.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't know. I do not want to put all my eggs in one basket with Aroldis Chapman.
But we'll see what happens.
But so John,
I know it's still early. It's still that's why we're Fenway. Well, that's why we're the Fenway faithful. We worry about baseball on February 14th.
Right. So I like the Bregman. I like the Bregman signing. I thought they were going to try to trade for Nolan Arenado. I think they were going to try to trade for him. I think they want to get rid of Yoshida, just the contract, and he's not really panning out as they probably thought. I think Breslow won't say it in public, but he won't say it in public. But I do think there is an effort behind the scenes to get rid of Tristan Casas. I do.
I wanted to bring something up. I'm glad you said that.
There
Kevin.
you go.
No, wait. Well, Kevin, I might get you on this one. I'm friends with his uncle.
Oh,
his uncle's from New York, right? No, he comes down to Fenway a lot, and I sat behind him one day. He told me yesterday, I called him on the phone just to see what was going on. He told me Tristan is all bulked out. He is jacked up. He looks like the Hulk. He put on all muscle.
Okay. Let's hope he stays healthy.
Let's just hope he stays. John, I got to ask you a question. Well, spring training is coming up, and we need to get Denny McClain on here. So could you be our contact in between?
He's still in my phone, Clay.
Okay.
If you want him on, he loves to do, I think, phone things. But
okay,
if you would have him live in your studio,
oh yeah, great,
right?
Yeah, we'd love to.
That man loves a $20 bill.
No. We'll talk about it.
Loves his bankroll, and who knows what he makes this year? I mean, he's got his pension and his Social Security, but he's quite an interesting figure.
Okay, I'm gonna we're gonna contact you after the show, and we're gonna try to set this up. So we'll get to that.
Okay.
And thank you for calling, John.
Clay, one more thing, Clay, about bringing up Denny McClain. You gotta watch. You and Kevin watch this one night. Watch Fox Sports Beyond the Glory. Denny McClain.
Okay.
Talk about someone from being on top of the world to going to the bottom of the world in one day.
Wow. Yeah. Well, he was the last of the 30-game
winners.
Good.
He 31. Do you know in 1968 the two best pitchers? It could have been they should have shared the Cy Young.
Bob Gibson.
31
and
no, a local guy, El Tiante.
Oh, yeah,
31. Listen to these numbers, Clay. McLean, 31-6. I think 2.68 ERA with the world champion Tigers. Granted, he had a great team behind him. But how about these numbers for Louis Tiant? And anybody who says he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame doesn't know what they're talking about. Louis Tiant in 1968 with the Cleveland Indians, the last place team. He was 23-5. Clay, tell me what his ERA was.
2.25.
1.28.
Wow.
He does belong in the Hall of Fame.
Wow. I've never heard a pitcher with better numbers on a last place team.
Right.
They were the worst fielding team in baseball that year, the Cleveland Indians. They had probably zero payroll, and I think it was Louis' second year out of Cuba. And he just lit it up. Louis Tiant was the greatest attraction I've ever seen at Fenway Park in my life.
Wait a minute, better than Pedro Martinez. I'm not even going to argue this.
100 times better, Clay. 100 times better.
I will argue with this at another time, but we have to get off right now and do a commercial, John.
With that gyration, Game 1 of the World Series in 1975 versus the Reds.
Yeah.
Watch it on YouTube. You'll put Pedro Martinez in Double-A ball. After you watch Louis Tiant's performance that day against the Reds.
On that note,
shut down
we're going to talk about this at another time, John. We're going to get off the phone.
He shut down the Reds that day, the Big Red Machine, to like 4 hits.
I'm not going to argue.
Game 1 of the World
I'm going to get you at another time with this. Pedro
okay, good enough.
John, thanks so much. We'll be in touch.
Okay, good enough.
Right.
Great show, guys.
Thanks as always.
Thanks, John.
Our good friend John, always bringing the energy this morning.
Pedro,
no matter the topic.
Yeah, Pedro versus Louis Tiant. That's still a pitcher's duel. Anyway, when they're both at the prime.
Right.
Okay. We have to do something here. We have to do a commercial. We got this one.
Yeah, so why don't we say hello to our friends at Oyama Investments who help us keep us on the air each and every weekend right here. If you're looking for a smart investment and if you're searching for a place to call your home, well, we want to welcome you to Oyama Investments, where your dreams, well, they do find a foundation. At Oyama Investments, but they're more than just your real estate partner. They're your trusted partner as well. And build the future, and whether you're a property that will grow with you or purchasing a dream home, make the process easy, transparent, and also rewarding. At Oyama Investments, they do specialize in finding properties that align perfectly with your goals, and imagine yourself owning a piece of the future, whether it be a luxury apartment, a commercial space, or family home in the perfect neighborhood. And if you're new to the real estate investment world, well, don't worry. They're here every step of the way, helping you make informed choices with confidence. Real estate prices rising. There's never been a better time to invest. And if you're ready to see your dreams come to life, do visit www.oyamainvestments.com or give them a call, 617-221-8881 today, where your vision becomes reality. That's good friend at Oyama Investments.
Thank you. Unbelievable. Lost some things on our screen here, so we can't find some of the things that we
call up Restream. But speaking of phone calls, why don't we go and talk to Wayne, who's on the line. Wayne, good morning. Welcome on in.
Here, Wayne.
Kevin, good morning. Clay, good morning.
Good morning,
Kelly,
Wayne.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling in to take my lumps with that Super Bowl weekend, and
me too.
My Monday didn't go any better as well because BC got smoked by BU.
Yeah, they put the hammer down on them.
Oh man, they beat us up, beat up on us like they were beating the Canadians in the World Juniors, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, a lot of those guys did play the juniors.
Yeah, that BU line was they were incredible in their World Juniors.
Yeah. BC may be number 1 in the country, but BU is number 1 in Boston.
Hey Wayne, have you watched any of the Four Nations face-off? The tournament?
Not yet. I have it on tape. I know we are facing Canada. That should be interesting going up against. Yeah. So that should be an interesting game.
And it should be. Of course, Canada had a 4-3 overtime win against Sweden on Wednesday night. Then next night, the U.S. beat up on Finland, I would say 6-1.
6-1.
And today, Finland plays Sweden at 1 o'clock, and the U.S. and Canada tonight at 8. And then the games will shift on Monday, starting at the TD Garden here in Boston, Canada and Finland, and Sweden against the United States.
Listen, why are you guys belaboring the point? You know, the United States is going to lay the hammer down. Drop kick them. They're going to drop kick them.
Well, I'll tell you one thing on Team Canada, Clay, with the games being played up in Montreal, the first and only time, God willing, or God forbid, Brad Marchand never plays for the Montreal Canadiens. The one and only time Montreal fans will ever cheer for Brad Marchand was in the Four Nations face-off the other night. But it was very, very interesting to see when some of these guys play for their native teams away from the NHL. But I think it's been a good thing for the league. I think the NHL trying to generate some interest, obviously, and sort of copying what the NBA does in their NBA Cup. And unlike the NBA Cup, these guys aren't playing for money. I think they're, playing for a competitive spirit. And hopefully, this will, in my opinion, whoever wins it, if Canada wins, the United States wins, hopefully this will rejuvenate the Bruins team coming off the break as well.
Hey, Wayne, I got some stats here for you. Okay, on the B part, in the last 20 years, who has won the most Bean Pot tournaments? Between
BU.
BC, you're right, BU. They've got 10. BC has 9. Northeastern has 5. And Harvard's pulling it up in the rear. They're coming up in the rear with one game.
Not a hockey school.
Hey, do you have a quick answer for the Leon Springs and Muhammad Ali?
No, we don't.
Heavyweight.
The heavyweight. No. Not the heavyweight. There's another division right below that both Spinks and Ali, who was Cassius Clay at the time,
we're looking at the welterweight.
Oh no, there's one above that one.
Oh, middleweight.
Okay, now you're narrowing it down, but there's one right above middleweight that they both won their gold medal in.
Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on that one.
Drawing a blank, huh? The two of them, they both won their gold medals in that weight division, and they met up. 1978 on February 15th, 1978, and Leon Speaks won that fight because Ali was, of course, out of shape and just thought Leon was going to.
1970 was a very good year around here with our Boston Blizzard and the Blizzard of '78.
Oh wow, Beautiful. That's right. We had the Blizzard of '78, probably in February.
So Wayne, let me go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask this question. So you took the Kansas City Chiefs, and Clay did his.
I wanted to see the record.
Go ahead, please. We'll let you take. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask the question. I just wanted to see the three-peat. I didn't really have a dog in the fight, but I just wanted to see the three-peat.
So you weren't as disappointed then?
He wasn't disappointed as I was, I guess.
No, not really. Actually, I won $50 because my boss had a bet what the combined scores of the outcome would be. I had 59 points, and I won a $50 gift certificate, so I didn't feel too bad.
No. That kind of made it feel a little bit better. Poor Kansas City. There's always next year.
What was it? Did you have a question for me, though, Kevin?
No, I didn't. I just wanted to have you respond to picking Kansas City. I don't know if you any observations throughout the game that you may have had.
No. I was just totally going on the record. To see something that has never been done in my lifetime.
Yeah, right.
That was my only betting interest in it. But I'm a New England kid. I love my Bruins. I love my Red Sox. I love my Patriots. My Revolutions. We're in the basement still, but I back the Boston teams first and foremost.
The Revolution and the Michael Jackson tour.
And that's one thing we haven't talked about on here is the MLS. I wouldn't know what to talk about that.
What's to talk about?
Yeah.
We'll rise like the Phoenix one there around here.
Exactly right.
Yeah. First we got to die.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right, Wayne. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Wayne.
Hey, Clay, happy birthday. If I don't talk to you in time for your birthday, but happy birthday.
Thanks a lot, Wayne. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Clay, you want to talk a little about the Celtics?
844-249-5247, 844-249-5247 if you want to call in. And about the Celtics. The Celtics are in second place, right? In the standings here. I'm looking at the paper here in my fingers. Cleveland Cavalier is first. Boston Celtics are second. New York Knicks are third in Eastern Conference. Oh, hold on. We got something on.
You want to talk about Philly fans calling in to gloat, as you mentioned? We have a gentleman calling in from Philly. Mike in Philly. It's a good day to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan, right, Mike?
True indeed. True indeed.
Gosh.
But I'm not gloating. Not gloating.
Gloating.
We're thankful. We're blessed.
Right.
And it's funny how, like, the way the game goes and you're waiting for that other foot to drop. The announcers are waiting for the other foot to drop. You just don't expect that kind of a beatdown, if, for lack of a better way of putting it. I was just waiting. I was like, all right, they gotta clap back. They gotta push back. In some ways, it just never happened.
Right. No.
Never happened.
No, they didn't have it.
Mike, I got a couple of questions for you. I'm curious from an Eagles fan perspective. Obviously, you mentioned it. Eagles started off the year really good last year, and then they fell off the face of the earth. Really got eliminated in the wild card round, and a lot of people wanted Nick Sirianni out, and even this year, people were saying for him to be fired. What's that all about, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's just the times that we live in, that you're looking for results now, and we don't have a lot of patience. We understand that the ebb and flows of life, ups and downs. And sometimes you gotta take a loss
in order to
get a win. And to the point of, if you think about all of our staff, and it's happening again this year, they got drained.
Right.
One went to Indianapolis, the other one went to Arizona. You can't have that turnover and then expect that same continuity of offense and production.
Right.
Think about it. We went to the Super Bowl. The very next year, we lose our offensive coordinator, then our defensive coordinator. And now this year, not that I'm a big fan of him, but the guy used to be offensive coordinator of Dallas, but he did his thing.
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, and then he's going to New Orleans. So we got to figure this out. Right. We got the formula, we got the players, but it does take that complete aspect, aspect of mind and body.
Continuity. It takes the continuity away.
No, it's just very interesting to me, given the success clearly Nick Sirianni has had with the Eagles, and for fans to be calling for him to be fired, I thought was very interesting. But I understand the frustrations. Listen, we talk about firing coaches all the time up here in Boston, so it's very similar. But I'm just curious if wanted to get your perspective on that. And another perspective I want to get your take on as well. We talked about this. It seems to me, outside of Philadelphia, Mike, that the talk in the NFL, and particularly NFC, all year was Detroit, Minnesota, and then Washington came up at the end and scared some people, and people thought Jaden Daniels, maybe could actually lead the Commanders to a Super Bowl. And it was never Philly was there, had a great season, obviously won the NFC East, but they were never really talked about. It always was Detroit and Minnesota. Talk about that a little bit, if you would.
I just think because we had the splash value in Saquon, but we never had the splash value in the quarterback. And this league is so driven by the quarterback. You see Josh, you see Lamar, you see Patty, all these guys, and even Jaden. We're just wild by it. And now we're all old school guys, and that's why I love baseball, and I love percentages, and I love doing it the right way. Championships are won by defense and run game. And Kellen Moore recognized, hey, listen, we got a Maserati. I know someone said that in Saquon. Ride that formula and win. Forget the splash and the glamour of the superstar quarterback. We do have one if we needed it, but let's ride what works, defense and run game. And that's why we didn't get all that, fanfare, if you will, because Jalen was just doing his job.
Right.
Yeah.
AJ got a little frustrated, but AJ, I know you want to be the next Terrell Owens and all these other
diva wide receivers, but we want championships. We don't need all that glamour. We want championships, and that's what we're. And then if you notice in that game, more than a couple of plays, Jalen had to bring it. They would pass rush, the outside would come, they lose their lanes, and he'd scoot right up through the middle and use his legs. You know, it's just that's just the way it works. If we need you to be Lamar, you can be Lamar. But let's just ride this formula. And then they stacked the box as we thought. Then he hit him on the outside. So he can make the throws. He can be Lamar. And that's so just to answer your question, that's why you didn't hear us, because we were just doing the formula.
Doing your thing.
It's a little, it looks boring.
Right.
Wins. You know,
well,
do your job. I hate to use that guy.
Listen, I think you guys just got lucky, this year.
Really?
Because you just got lucky.
I disagree with that. I'm with Mike. Come on.
Because they fell off the cliff last year and nobody expected anything. So they kind of snuck up on people this year. That's what I think.
If anybody got lucky, it was the Kansas City Chiefs. If anybody got lucky, it was Kansas City.
They didn't get lucky, but they were under the radar. And I think you guys have a great team. I think you guys have a great team.
How is that lucky when we run the formula? We're in the same age bracket.
I think you guys have a great team. No, really, I think you guys have a great team. I was just teasing there.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys got a great team. I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen going forward, because, like you said, when they lose in offensive coach or defensive coaches, you do lose a certain amount of continuity, and it takes away from the team. If they don't lose anybody, I'd say, their windows like for the next 3, 4, 5 years. But if they keep losing coaches, it's going to be checkered like it was before. They'll be there and then they won't be there. But as long as they have Jalen Hurts back there and a good offensive line, they'll be fine.
Well, I mean, listen, so you're losing your offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. I mean, Vic Fangio, obviously, he's not going to be. He's been around the league for a number of years.
3 more years.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to be around much longer. It's just like the Patriots. I mean, we look at what happened with McDaniels and Patricia leaving. And of course that didn't work out for those two guys. But regardless, when you win a Super Bowl, you make it to a Super Bowl, the success that Nick Sirianni has had, teams are going to want to poach from your contingency, and that has happened. And we look at, as you mentioned, both the Indianapolis Colts and the Cardinals have Jonathan Gannon with the Cardinals and Shane Steichen with the Indianapolis Colts.
I know.
And now the New Orleans Saints with Kellen Moore. So
with Kellen Moore,
I mean, Mike, it's clear to me. It's clear to me in the Super Bowl that I mentioned this. I think Kansas City, the defense and Steve Spagnuolo, I think over-prepared for Saquon Barkley and did not prepare enough for Jalen Hurts and his arm.
Yeah. You had to choose your poison, though.
I think you're comparing apples and oranges, though. I mean, the Eagles' defense is much better than Kansas City's defense. They spent all the money on offense.
I'm not arguing that
but
point.
But they did their job. To the credit of Kansas City and Spags, they were doing their job.
Oh, sure.
But our defense just did their job a way better.
Way better.
And Patty gave the ball away. I mean, sometimes you just got to take a sack. Sometimes you just got to keep and see who's going to flinch. But he kept risking it. No risk it, no biscuit.
No, he looked lost. He looked lost out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad. I'm happy.
Well, congratulations, Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Congrats, Mike. And now it's on to baseball season. We'll see what the Phillies end up doing this year. And in an interesting NL East.
Toward the end.
Yeah,
we faded off at the end. That's it. We didn't realize we were going to start off so hot. Me and my dad were talking. And then we were riding high for a minute. Then we kind of faded.
Our old friend Dave Dombrowski running the show down in Philly. We'll see what happens.
Exactly. I expect good things out of them. Yeah. Dombrowski can get it done.
Sure.
He can spend a lot of money. That's for sure.
But he'll get it done. He'll get it done.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Congratulations.
All right, guys.
Hey, Mike. Congratulations.
All right, bro. Bye-bye.
All right, Clay, we got about 6 minutes to go here in the show. Anything else you want to talk about the NFL? I've covered, I think, everything else what would need to happen.
I want to talk about
the Celtics? Go ahead.
Our Boston Celtics. Even though they're in second place with a record of 39-16, which means they've played 56 games and 68 games a season. So 72. So they're almost
82.
82. They're 3/4 of the way done.
Mm-hmm.
And
still 5.5 back Cleveland.
Yeah, but they're not going to catch that.
You don't think so, really?
No, Cleveland Cleveland's on a mission. Cleveland wants the home field advantage, home court. They're going to get it. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. The Celtics are going to beat them. I'm worried about, as I said to you, the Orlando Magic.
What is this about the Magic? They have really fallen off in the standings. They're 4-6 in the last 10 games. They're not as strong as they started the year.
They have to find themselves. I mean, but if they do, they're young enough. If they find themselves in the playoffs, and I'm going to date myself, going way back to 1979 when the Seattle Supersonics had Dennis Johnson and Gus Williams and Lonnie Shelton, and they found themselves in the playoffs. Even though they were a young team, they smashed the Washington Bullets, and that same thing could happen if the Magic find themselves. If they don't find themselves, well, then it's easy sailing for the Celtics until they meet the OKC Thunder, who are the best team in the NBA right now.
Right now, at least on paper. Hey, can I say one thing?
Right. Yes.
Our good friend John called in last week, of course, and talked about the Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis trade and calling it the swindle of the century. Were you shocked when it came out that Anthony Davis now is going to miss multiple weeks with a left abductor strain?
Well,
hurt already.
It just goes to show LeBron, is willing and dealing. You better watch out if you're his teammate because the knife is going to come.
But what does that say about Mavericks leadership, front office?
Listen, this makes you wonder about the whole thing that they were able to get it done. How is it that the Los Angeles Lakers always seem to get some guy that they want no matter what? And we're going back a ways, but it always seems to happen that the NBA has no problem with gifting the Lakers whoever they want. Anthony Davis, that wasn't supposed to happen. Russell Westbrook, even though that didn't work out right. But whatever it is.
But that's not my point about the Lakers. I'm talking more about the Mavericks. How do you justify that? How do you justify trading away Luka Doncic? You bring in Anthony Davis, who sure is a great player. Nobody's doubting that. But is so injury prone. And now here we are missing multiple weeks.
Well, it won't be long before Luka Doncic is out injured also because he is a injury prone person. And I think the Mavericks wanted to get from underneath his contract and Luka Doncic. He's a tough person to work with. They didn't want to deal with this.
So you're saying if you were with Dallas, you would still trade Luka?
I would have traded him.
Wow.
I would have traded him. And you don't need some of these. They're not going anywhere with Luka. They weren't going to go anywhere with Luka. Luka demands the ball too much. And it still remains to be seen what's going to happen with the Lakers because you got two guys who are ball hogs.
So
LeBron James and Luka Doncic. So what's going to happen? We don't know, but I don't expect they're going to be in the finals.
So if the Mavericks didn't have Luka Doncic last year, do you still believe they would have made the NBA finals?
I'm not interested in being the runner-up. Okay, that's not what I would.
No, neither am I. I'm just asking you.
I would like to think that the Mavericks want to win the championship, and I doubt they could win it with Luka Doncic. Just because he's a top 5 player doesn't mean he's the guy who's going to win the championship because he demands too much.
Luka Doncic got them to the NBA finals last year, but you're saying since he was on the team, they couldn't beat the Celtics because he was on the team?
They can't beat a real team. They can't beat a real team. That's the problem. He demands the ball. He wants the ball in his hands too much.
So Denver and OKC, they're not real teams?
Well, you're trying to compare them to Luka. Is there somebody
No,
like
no, I'm
Luka
comparing them to teams that the Mavericks beat last year.
Well, do they have a guy that demands the ball like Luka? No, neither one of them do. They spread the ball around. They get it. It's a team ball. So those teams would have beat this team this year. How they fell apart last year? Mm-hmm. I mean, OKC, they had injuries. SGA was still young. I think it was the second year, but they wouldn't get past them this year, and they weren't going to get past them this year. So I knew they had to get it. Somebody had to give, and the Mavericks may have done the right thing, but I don't suspect that the Lakers are going to the finals with Luka and LeBron. So it's a waste of time of getting them.
Well, we'll see in a couple of weeks here what happens. Anyways, we get ready to close out the show here about a minute. Next week, we talked about Alex Bregman, and we'll have more to say in the Red Sox next week. I like the move. We'll talk about that more in depth because
I don't like the move.
We won't have football to discuss next week, and we won't have football to talk about for a long time, actually, besides NFL free agency. And just quickly on that, Clay, we'll talk about this, I guess, some football next week. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets have broken up, and Aaron is going to be moving on.
Leaving on the jet plane.
The question is, will he continue to play in the NFL? That remains to be seen. So we'll talk about all that next week. And
does
Celtics,
anybody really care?
Well, I think some people do. It's a good thing to talk about anyway. generates callers. Celtics are off this week, obviously. The NBA All-Star game in San Francisco, All-Star weekend. They're back in Philly on Thursday night coming up. So, and the Bruins will be back as well after the Four Nations tournament. And Red Sox spring training in full swing. We'll talk about all that and more next week. We don't have enough time to talk about. We had to talk about the Super Bowl, and congrats to the city of Philadelphia and all Eagles fans out there for Super Bowl 59 champions.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Is that it?
Oh, 10 seconds if you want to say anything else.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
It's God's side and the other side. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you